Okay, here we go. Hello, everyone. Good to see you again. So today we will have your fantastic demos, and after that, we will just discuss the learning modules for the past 2 weeks, and we will go through the issues for the next weeks. So David will start with the demos.
Yep.
Please. Okay, great.
Okay, so is anyone ready to present, or should I nominate? So if there is no volunteer, we will go in order. So first, it's going to be, oops. I think it's okay, and Jamila, right?
All right, no worries. Okay, shall I
Yeah,
do the demo?
First,
Yeah, you can
present,
do the demo. I'm going
present
to
the functionality and then the code.
Okay, cool. 1 second, please. I'll start sharing my screen. Sorry, it's taking a while. 1 second. Okay, I'm gonna start sharing my screen now. Can everyone hear me all right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, so this is the main page, obviously, and our changes took place on the manage list page, so that's where you will need to navigate to. So there's a new feature. It's called share list, and you have to share a list that is, you have to share you are only able to share the list to an email that is already registered for the website. So it will throw up error. It's designed to throw up errors if the person is not registered or if the email is not recognized. So if I enter my own email address, I'm obviously registered. A notification will pop up saying list shared to email. But if I were to do my other Gmail account, for example, that's not registered, then this error will appear, email not recognized. So yeah, and you're able to enter, so you can use the functionality with the enter button, or you can click the submit button. Either way will work. And yeah, that's it.
Okay, so let's see the code.
Okay, thank you. Okay, right. Can everyone see my screen now?
Yeah, we can see it.
Yep.
Perfect. Yes. So we actually made changes to 3 files. So like Jamila already explained, we had to introduce a new form which was supposed to handle sharing the list and to an already signed up email on the application. So here we have the form here where we created a new form to handle that. So the H1 here is just differentiate the forms because we have two forms in the manage list page. So we had an H1 to just indicate that, and then the div contains the labels and the inputs, so which is for the email and also for the input. So both having their respective um, attributes. So when you click on the label, particularly focuses the cursor on the input field. So here we just simply have the attributes for value, which is connected to the variables we created here, which is the one that handles for the email. So we have one for the value and one to set the value here, which is set to initially an empty string. So we have for the value and unchanged to set that value. So yeah. So when you click on the enter key on the button, it submits the 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 email. So and this function here is called, so the handle email submit is called, which is an async function. You know, and the first thing we did here was to prevent the default action of forms, which is to refresh the page, and then we used a try catch block to actually to catch any errors in case the function call does not go through. So we took a look at the Firebase file where we had to utilize the share list um, function, which takes in three parameters. So we have the list part, the current user ID, and then the recipient email. So this email has to be a signed up user on the platform already. So and then we passed in the required parameters, which is the list part, the user ID, and the email. But then we don't actually have access to the user ID directly from the manage list page here. So but we have access to it here on the app.jxs file. So which is here. So we had to pass that as a prop to the manage list component. So which we cut here and also passed it in to the to the function call. So initially in the function, we didn't have a way to catch if the user was not registered. So initially here we had a return here, just like we had here. So we had to include the throw new error so as to trigger an error so that we can catch it in case the email we passed in is not registered on the platform. So we have it here. So this was simply the change we made to the shell list function here. It's just throw an email just in case the user is not registered. So if we call the function and then it goes through, so we get a toast which tells us that the email has been shared to the user, and then we have to reset the value to an empty string once more. Then if it doesn't go through, we also have to notify the user, so as to tell them that the email is not recognized, and also reset the value of the email. So that's pretty much the code we wrote for this week to implement the issues.
Well, I pretty much don't have any question. It was pretty straightforward. Anyone has questions for the team?
Not really, not really. I love the demos. Amazing work. I have only like I'm just wondering what happens when you share a list with another user. If you maybe you could show us in Firebase what happened.
Okay.
Or not in Firebase, but I don't know, maybe share the list with another Collabi and just let's see like what's going on when you share a list.
Yeah. So basically, what we just did was just notify the on the application that the list has been shared. So we currently
Okay.
have no way to indicate that right now. Maybe at a later issue.
Okay, does it
But
show on the other user? For example, if I give
I
you my
actually I
email
actually looked
now.
into the database
Mhm.
console. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. Um, let me just- Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I can't seem to hear Reader, but I'll just carry on. Okay, so where is this? Where is the mail? I think it's in the chat, right? Okay, if he could just drop his email in the chat so I can copy it there.
Yeah,
Okay.
here it is.
Okay, nice, nice. Thank you. Okay, so as you can see, the list has actually been shared to him. So I think all that should happen on the
Okay,
Firebase
so
backend.
okay. So what's the name of the list you shared with me? The new, is it called new
No, it's called the
or
courses.
courses?
Courses.
Okay. It
Yeah,
appears
courses.
it's okay, it appears as my account. Okay, great. So when
It's
you share
appearing
the
there.
list, yeah, it appears as my account. Yeah. I can share the screen real
Oh,
quick.
yeah, please
Yeah,
do.
I would like you to see it too.
Okay. Can you
Oh,
see my screen?
Yeah.
great. Yeah,
So here
I can
I
see it.
have the courses list. This is all tests I entered before, and this is like the courses. Okay, great. Thank you. Okay.
Okay,
And Jamila.
yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Perfect. So let's go to the next team. Jamila, IG, who is going to present?
Oh, it's me and IG. Yeah, I think IG
Khadija,
said
sorry, Khadija. Yeah.
no worries, no worries. Wait, I think you're muted, IG. I don't know if you're saying
Okay, can you hear me now?
yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
We can hear you.
so I will show the functionalities on the screen, then she will show the code on the editor. So let me start sharing this. Okay, my screen. Is my screen showing?
Yep.
Okay. How am I getting this news? Sorry, please let me open it up. Sorry for delay. Okay.
If you want, I can also share my screen and then you can explain it there. It's up to you.
I think it's no. Yeah. So for now, can you see my screen?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
So last week our own issue was that we should actually make a user to be able to filter through the list page to the list items. So we are the list page. So to do that, we had to get create an input field. So these are the list of items we've created. So when you search through it, the item will actually come up. So you'll be able to, for example, now I'm searching through a list, an item on the list. So when I do that, that shows me that only this is available, that what you're looking for is actually available. And also, there is the clear button, so you can actually clear it if you don't want. Then you can actually search for item through using any other alphabets, like for example, maybe randomly you can only think of something and you don't know the full words. So I'm going to use IX. So it shows me that this is the item that contains IS, it contains this. And so you can clear and so when you do that, the proper item comes out. So that's what we actually did this week. So I'm going to pass over to Khadija, and she will show you the code, the VS Code.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I can show you the code. Okay. Are you able to see the code?
Yeah.
Sorry, what?
Can you see the
Yes.
code? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. So yeah, as you can see, we worked here on the list component, well, the list page actually. So what we did is first we created some variables for the search input and for the filtered items array. Initialize the search input with an empty string, and of course the filtered items with an empty array. So this list component takes in the data from Firebase. You've already seen it before on the app.jsx over here. So yeah, as you can see here, it's being passed down as a prop, the data. So that's what the list component is taking. And at first, I would put data over here, and it didn't work as a default value for the filtered items state. So that's when I realized, I don't know, I think it's something to do with the way Firebase works. Maybe you guys can explain more about that, but yeah, what works for this is to use a use effect, and that when the data comes in from Firebase, we set it as we set the filtered items as the data, initializing it basically. And then yeah, that means filtered items would get the data, and you can see here that it's being mapped through, and so it renders into the website, the page basically. And for the filtering functionality, we first created a form with, of course, yeah, a search label, and then with the input, search input as well. We also put an on change over here to keep track of the input that the user puts, that the user inputs, I guess. And then with this search input, we have this function over here, which is called filter items, the filter items function, that takes in the search input. And then what it does, it filters through the data and basically looks at where it accepts this condition. So we just taken the name of the item, put everything into lowercase just to make it consistent. Also put the search input into lowercase as well, and see if it if the item name includes the whatever the user puts on the search input, basically. And then it would return the filtered items based on the search input, as you can see over here. And then we just invoke the function over here, filter items, taking the search input here. And you can see also that there's the dependency array. So of course, every time the search input changes or the data changes, this function will get invoked every time. Another functionality we inputted is the button functionality, which basically every time you click the button, it clears the search input, and you can see it over here, where it basically sets the search input variable into an empty string again, and then it also sets the filtered items into the original data set, basically. So yeah, we had a bit of some issues beforehand. We thought that we had to filter through the shopping list. But then after like reviewing the issue again, we realized that we just had to filter through the items of a specific shopping list. So that's what we did, as you can already see from IJ's presentation. Yeah.
Cool. I have a question or two. So
Mhm.
how did you get into the need of having to put to lowercase to make it consistent? It was first hand, or you ran in some problems and then you decided to do that?
Well, actually, I didn't think of it first. I think it was IJ actually who implemented this
Yes.
to lowercase. So yeah, maybe
Lowercase.
IJ can answer this question.
We actually use the two lowercase function to actually, so if you check the functionality on the screen, you're able to type in with lowercase and you're able to type in with the uppercase. So I missed that when I was presenting. So with this function, you can actually do
It's
this. This is a JavaScript function that allows us to change to type. Oh. It's a JavaScript function that allows us to actually change the type case. Yeah.
It's cool. This is when you are working with different languages, when you have weird things in German, for example, you have weird signs in some parts. In Spanish, we also have some accents. So with this to lowercase, it's the same that you will need to do if to make it consistent, as Khadija was saying, to be able to search, because it's not the same if you are looking for the word without the accent, then you cannot compare and it's not going to match. So this is super cool, and yeah, I love to see it.
Thank you.
The other question I have is I think it's more cosmetic, but I have seen that you have put the X button, but the form input already have a button. Why did you choose to not use it? Or I don't know, was it part of the acceptance criteria?
It's true actually, but it was, exactly. It was part of the acceptance criteria. I also realized that, the search input actually already has like a built-in functionality that you can actually just clear the search input straight away from that. But yeah, since it was part of the acceptance criteria, we just decided we had to implement a button for that. Yeah.
Perfect. Right. No more questions from my side. Anyone else has some questions? Perfect. So great work, everyone. What I have not been able, this is more general. I have not been able to try to test it in production. Maybe it's me or my cache, but is there any problem? Anyone have been able to try this in production? Because I have seen that you did the demos on your local computer.
I think it's because of maybe my guess is server workers. So it's like caching them,
Yeah.
caching like the
Okay.
old version. So all you need to do is close all the tabs that use the application and open again, I guess. Can you try that and see if it works?
Yeah. Let me check. Also, I'm going to sign out. Sign in again. Okay, now it's working. Yeah. Yeah, it was my cache. Oh, perfect.
Yeah, and please, while you mentioned that, please next time let's use the production instead of the local development. So we just make sure that the app is always up to date and working properly. Now, while I was testing, there is a case. So if you put space first in the search, I'm talking about the search functionality. If you put a space first and then any letter, it won't show you any results. So maybe you can add a trim. I can't remember good it's trim. So just to trim them from any white spaces. That's all. Just a small note. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much. I didn't realize that, but yeah, let's we can fix it later.
Yeah.
Then. Yeah.
Sure. Anytime. Okay. So thank you, David. And let's move to learning modules. Were you able to go through the videos for the accessibility and how to learn your story, how to tell your story, sorry. Awkward moment.
Crickets.
Yeah, I guess Okiki already told me that he did go through the accessibility learning module, right?
Wow,
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Do you mind? Like just telling what was interesting about it? Like anything interesting about the model or?
Okay, well, simply put, it's just like a way of of trying to give access to every user that uses our application. So not just to people who are well, you get. So both those who are blind or handicapped in any way, so um, they have no hassle using the website. That's just basically it. So using things like semantic tags for
Yep.
the proper tags at where they should be.
Okay. Thank you, Henry. As Henry said, just using semantic form element, semantic HTML elements like the form. You already been using like the form, so you are able to submit the form, for example, with the enter key without needing any additional listeners for gate down or anything like that. So I would love more insights from you. Like, did you were you aware of this stuff before the Collab Lab? Were you aware about this while you are learning about accessibility and this kind of stuff, or is it your first time like exposing to this?
I only
Um,
knew about the. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jamila.
no, go ahead. You start first.
No, I was just aware about the alt tags, and I think, yeah, it makes sense. Obviously, you want to be able to read what the image is for example, like someone who is blind. Yeah, but that's the only one that I am aware of. But everything else, I am new to it. Yeah.
So I did learn a bit about accessibility when I was learning HTML at first. But I became more aware of the bigger picture of accessibility, because I was following an accessibility advocate on Twitter, and she said simple things like making sure that videos have subtitles for people who are deaf, and semantic text. It also helps people with semantic tags. I mean, it also helps people who are blind. They have readers that automatically read pages so that it will jump to the right section instead of if you have lots of div, that will make it very hard for a website reader for a blind person to utilize that properly. So accessibility is a lot more, and it affects a lot of people, and you have to make sure that your website is literally for everyone and not just people who are able.
Jamila, do you mind sharing if you have it, of course, the Twitter for the maybe the other collabs will benefit
Yeah,
from it.
sure. I'm gonna find her.
You can share it later in Slack if you
Oh,
can
okay, yeah,
find them.
yeah, sure.
It's totally fine. Yeah. Okay. Do you have any further questions about this stuff? We can also like talk about the first week learning modules about pair programming. Can't remember all the three what were. I guess pair programming, code review. Let me check. Yeah, and Git and GitHub. If you have any questions, anything basically you want to tell us about it.
How went the conflict? Your first conflict? How that went?
Yeah,
think it
IG,
was.
tell us about that.
Is there going to be the first of a lot? So don't be afraid.
You are muted.
My sorry. Okay, you're talking. Oh, sorry. My merge conflict. That was my first of one. The one I had last week. I actually made some changes. So instead of me to git pull, I did not do that. So I had a problem with when I had to push to GitHub and getting a code. So it was now, should I say, how would I say, there was a conflict here, and MJ actually helped me in resolving the issue. So I learned that to start my code first, so it will not cause a problem when I have to push, then be able to do the git pull.
Yeah, always do git pull first. But
I
that's
don't remember. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't remember.
it's totally fine. It happens. That's not the only case when you will have merge conflicts. You may do your git pull and you may be working on another branch and another dev is also working on their future. And when you want to merge everything together, it won't work. So you need to just like coordinate with the other dev and see what codes you should like stay, should be removed. Yep. Any other insights, David or MG, want to add about this? Or of course, if the other collabs have stories, anything they want to add.
I can recall
I
one day of fixing merge conflicts. One full day of those. back in the day. But yeah, it's good to be consistent with the practices of pooling for avoiding those things. And as Reda was saying, coordination, always talk with people, because yeah, it's the more time it passes, the harder it's going to be to fix the conflict. So
I can 100% relate on that. Just a few months ago, I was working on one branch, and I just kept adding changes to that one branch. I didn't merge the futures. I just kept adding to that one only branch. And then when I wanted to merge to main, finally, it was a nightmare. I did a rebase instead of merge, and I can share a link about rebase later. It's also useful to know about. It's basically the same idea of merging, but I always have difficulties explaining this, so I will just drop the link and then we can discuss it in Slack. Yeah, but I spent like the whole evening just trying to fix the conflicts. I remember going over like 50 files or more. It was a nightmare. Yeah. So what we learn from this is always keep the main branch updated, always keep coordinating with the other devs, and have fun coding. Okay. So we have 20 minutes left, so maybe we can move to the issues, and then if we have more time at the end, we can talk more about this. But before, I'm curious, like, did you actually have the time to go through the learning modules? And if not, or maybe it's not that time is the cause. What's I just want to know the cause, like why you can't go through the learning modules or anything like that. Is it time? Is it like not visible in the process? Just curious.
For me personally, I think it's time, to be honest with you. Yeah, I'm in like multiple processes right now, so I'm doing yeah, other stuff for my applications as well. Like I think I told David I did a coding challenge as well. Um and I'm learning Dutch also. I mean, I don't want to use it as an excuse, obviously. Yeah, it's my fault, but maybe like a reminder would be nice as well on Slack. Remember to go through your learning models. I think if that would be the case, I would, yeah, I would remember to go through it.
Okay, great. Jamila, I remember, I guess you wanted to say something before.
Oh no, this was about GitHub. So I used to like have those problems with GitHub as well. So Git and GitHub actually. So I just like use different sources to make like a document that I always refer to whenever I'm working in the terminal. So like a Git workflow that I can maybe share in the terminal.
Yeah, sure.
In Slack, sorry.
I understand.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I'll share
it
it
will be
then.
100% useful. Thank you.
Cool.
Okay. MG, do you mind?
It's me, no? The issues. I am the issue this
Yeah.
week.
I'm sorry. Sometimes I finish the phrase in my brain, and I never actually say it. So
No problem.
I'm sorry.
Let me share the scope too. Yes. Okay. I'm on, no? Okay. Issue number 8. As a user, I want to see a welcoming prompt to add my first item if my list is empty to help me get oriented to how the app works. That's a long phrase. Okay. When a user starts a new list, they need a little guidance on how to get started. Think through what you want to see as a user and make some intentional user experience decisions that will guide your users in confidently adding their very first item. Okay, the acceptance criteria is in the list view. When there are no items to display, show a prompt, for example, a button, for the user to add their first item. Okay, is this clear or is it too vague for you? Do you have questions about this? No questions?
It's clear.
Should I go to the next one or? Okay, let's read the 9. Issue 9, as a user, I want to mark an item on my shopping list as purchased so the app can learn how often I buy different items. Okay. Users need a UI that allows them to mark their item as purchased so they can track what on their list they do and do not need to buy. Okay, this is bigger acceptance criteria. The list item component renders a checkbox with a semantic label. Checking of the item in the UI also updates the date last purchase and total purchases property on the corresponding Firestore document. The item is shown as checked for 24 hours after the purchase is made. We assume the user does not need to buy the item again for at least 1 day. After 24 hours, the item unchecks itself so the user can buy it again. The update item function in Firebase has been filled out and sends updates to the Firestore database when an item is checked. Okay, let's see the notes. While you will need to update multiple parts of the Firestore document for this feature, do not worry about date next purchase yet. That will be addressed in a future issue. You can use Firestore console to check that this feature is working correctly, for example, by manipulating the value of date last purchased. Okay, any questions about this? No? Okay. So
not now,
yeah.
but this is one of the those issues where there is going to be a lot of discussion.
Yeah.
Not discussion, but it's going to be interesting.
I know
Okay.
there'll be questions when we start working, so we'll communicate.
Yeah.
In this channel.
Okay, we will see
Yeah.
in Slack what happens. So I have to assign them, right? Okay, issue number 8, Kiki IG, 8. Here. Wait. Is this?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
great. Okay, and obviously the other one, Jamila and Khadija. Okay.
Mine is JM.
Sorry. This one. And this one. Okay. All set, right?
Perfect.
Okay, if there's no more things, I stop sharing. Done.
Yeah, all good.
Even the first issue, I have questions, not to do, but I think there could be questions asked about how do you want it to look like, but I guess you will figure it out. And if you have a question, ask us.
Yeah, this week was much better in terms of communication. I mean, the last week. It's not this week, the last week. Yeah. So keep it up. Also, we have few minutes left. We can discuss like this is the first. We aren't past time, so we can, if you want, we can discuss more the learning modules. By the way, Khadija, if you are applying for jobs, the how to tell your story is a really great great learning module and great tips. There are some great tips there you can use. So give it a try. Yeah.
Will do.
And
Thank you.
Anytime. And do you have any further questions? Anything you want to talk about?
I don't know if you have the answer to this, but can I ask one of the issues that I face this week and like
Yeah, sure.
why? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me share my screen again. Yeah, I think I mentioned it before. Yeah, this part, like why is it the case that I'm not able to just initialize it with the data?
So I guess my guess is I can't be sure 100%, but my guess is like the data, it's when you are trying to get the data in the app.js, it's asynchronous. It's not happening
Okay.
right away. So there
That's
is some
correct.
loading time. Yeah. So there is some loading time. So when you put the data there, it's probably undefined at first. So it's either undefined or nil depending on the implementation. And that's why it's not working. So you put there like when you put the data directly there, it's nil or undefined. And when the data, like when it's finished loading and you have the data, then it's not updating. But use effect does actually update it when the data changes.
Right.
And you may want to add a check there to only set the filtered items if there is a data. So you can do if there is data, then set the filtered items, because the data at first is not there. It's fetching.
Got it.
No.
Is there a
Okay.
better way to do this other than using use effect?
Not really. That's the way.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
but you can. I never actually combined Firebase with React Query, but you can use React Query. It's already like it's a way of fetching data, and it's already like give you the loading, all the status that you may need, and you may want to check it out. I will send it in the chat here. It's React.
It's going to be sending. It's going to enable you or to give you some hooks to action on the changes of a state, I guess, right?
Yeah, it gives you like the like made hooks, and you don't have to worry about all the loading and stuff, because usually this kind of like fetching data, you need actually it's necessary to have a loading state even in the user interface. So you need to show them the loading, and then after, when the data is available, you will show them the data, and if the data is not available, you will show them that an empty state or something like that. So you can do that without React Query, but it's a bit, can say, I don't know, a bit complicated, I guess. But you can look into it. You can also use React Query. So React Query give you some hooks that you can use, and it will give you all the necessary states you need. Loading, fetching, if the data is up to date or not. But I'm not sure if you can use it with Firebase. I guess you can. I don't know. I never tried, so I don't want to like give you
I
faults.
will check it out. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I hope it's clear.
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yep.
So in my time exploring user accessibility, so I usually stick to like using like semantic tags and I know, but I've not really tried to use an area label before. Yeah, so I've actually wanted to look into that and implement it into a place I'm currently working on. I don't know how that works. I see a lot of area label, area heading, and other stuff like that. I don't know how that works.
Does anyone want to take this question? Or okay, so I don't have much experience, honestly, with the area label and with the area, but it's useful when you come across some functionality that you can't actually use semantic HTML. I believe in the slides you have, there is already like the case of a switch element. We don't
Okay.
have a switch element in as a HTML element. We don't have that. And when you wanna like a switch functionality, and we don't have a switch HTML element. So you need to use like the area role and stuff like that. But in my day-to-day work, where I use this kind of stuff is sometimes native HTML elements are hard to style. Some of them are like hard to style. For example, a radio button or a checkbox. You need some. It's possible to style them, but it's kind of like you need some tricks and some tweaks, you know. And you may want to use, for example, a div for a checkbox and that stuff. So I'm not encouraging you to do that, but in case you have to, for example, use a div as a radio button or as a checkbox, you will have to add the area or area label to or area role to say that this is a checkbox. Also, if you want to check this more, what I found it useful is I use headless UI. It's I will
From
share
Tailwind.
all these, yeah, from Tailwind, yeah. I use it most of the time when I want to have control over the design, like over the UI, how it will looks like. So it gives me the freedom to do that, and they take care of accessibility. So you can use the headless UI, and you can check what they do. You can check what they do with the area label and all of this area. They have some area hidden and that stuff. So you can like put a component and check it in the aspects, and you can see all of how they use that stuff. I hope I answered your question, even like.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
I can
I'll
add, I
definitely
can
check
add
out
some
how to headless UI.
I can add some things to that. It's basically, so if you think in all the assistive technologies, meaning screen readers and other tools that people with disabilities use, this is a way for trying to standardize the language, basically. They define a standard for all the tools manufacturers that are around to converge and provide a seamless experience for those. So it's basically, and also as HTML, HTML didn't have that in the past, so they found the use of attributes. They standardized the use of those attributes inside the tags to help the tools that people with disabilities is using to have a great experience.
Okay.
And it has been changing and it will evolve as well. In fact, when the first time I did this, so a lot of governments for the pages or the services, the government services that are online, there is a mandate to be accessible by default. So there is a law, and they have to implement those things. I had to do this for some governments in the past, but area was not there. It was a different. It was super different at that time. So it's evolving and fast. Yeah.
just curious what we were using.
It was manual.
Okay.
It was the first. Let me check. It was the first. It was WAI standard, and there was 3 different levels, and the government only mandate the second level to be achieved. The third level was maximum support for that. But at the moment, there was only screen readers and things like that. And it was through, you send the page through a third party that was going to validate manually that everything was working for screen readers and things like that. It was a painful and very slow process. I'm talking 15
100%.
years ago.
Thank you, David. All right, so we are at the end of like the meeting time. Thank you, everyone. And I will share all the links, I will try to share all the links that we talked about. If I forgot something, just please tell me that you forgot it. And yeah, and David will do the code review this week, right?
No, or no, I'm doing
Okay.
the yeah, I think I'm doing both. I'm doing office
Yeah.
hours and code review.
Yeah, you are doing both.
Yeah.
Okay. I will see you all later. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You're around.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye.